right, welcome back, scholars. Your do now was just a little bit of a warm-up, just practicing what you guys already know. But I want you to notice a pattern in the problems that I gave you. So I have on my notes right here your do now example. So 50 equaled b plus 4.5. Now, yes, the answer is 45.5, but that's just our baby step now. I want you to look at what parts we have in this. This was our total. We are always going to have some type of total. We're also always going to have a variable. So a letter. It could be, depending on the story, you might choose a different letter. A lot of mathematicians like to use X or N for a missing number, but you can use whatever letter you would like as long as it is a letter. And then the third part that we're almost always going to have is, I don't know if you remember this vocabulary, it says the C, it would be our constant. So in your word problems today, you want to find these three things. There's always going to be a total, a variable, and some type of constant. Every once in a while, they might have a coefficient there, and I will help you with that in our example problem of what a coefficient will look like, but you always want to find these three things, okay? So in your exit ticket, while you're working, you want to find these three things, okay? So our key point for today is an algebraic equation can be used. You're either typing or you're writing to represent and solve a problem with, and here are three things: constant, variable, and total. Okay, so those are the three things we'll be looking for. Let's look at our first and only example problem. So I want you to remember we're representing it, so we're writing out an equation and then we're solving it. Wonka candy bars cost $50 each. Is that a total? Doesn't sound like it. Is it a constant? Maybe. Not quite sure. Let's figure out. Let's keep reading. Shakur wants to buy as many Wonka candy bars as he can. He has $10 to spend. What does that sound like to you? He has only a total of $10. It's a total. So we already found our total. I'm going to label it right here. So he has a total of $10 to spend at the candy store. He buys a can of soda for $1 and spends the rest of his money on Wonka bars. How many Wonka bars did he buy? So that's where I'm going to solve. So first I have to write my equation and then I can solve. I know my total is going to be 10. So he's spending a total of $10. He can't spend more because he doesn't have more. So what is he actually buying? I read two things. He's buying candy bars and he's buying soda. How many candy bars is he buying? I don't know. It doesn't tell me, does it? So if I don't know, what is that a hint for? What is that going to be? If it's no number, I don't know the number yet. That's what I want to figure out. It's going to be my variable. So right here, that's my variable. My Wonka bars. Let's use, I want to use W for Willy Wonka. Wonka bars. Okay. So then you bought Wonka bars and I bought a soda, right? So some number of Wonka bars and I bought a soda. Should I use soda as a variable or do I know how much he spent on the soda? I do know he only bought one soda and it costs $1. How will I know how much he spent on the Wonka bars? How will I figure that out? Well, each one costs $1.50. So if he bought one Wonka bar, it would be $1.50. If he bought two, that would be $3. If he bought three, that would be, oh my goodness, $4.50. So what did I do each time? I multiplied the number of candy bars, however much it costs. So I'm going to have to multiply 1.5 or 150 times each Willy Wonka bar, and then add my soda to make sure I know my soda before I can figure out how much he bought. So this ends up being my coefficient. I'm not always going to have a coefficient, but in this case I did. And my dollar ended up being my constant because that did not change. All right, so I have my step one was my equation. I did that. Now, how many Wonka bars did he buy? This is going to be a tricky step, but I know we got it. So let's think about it. He had a total of $10. He spent $1 on soda. So how much does he have left to spend on the Wonka bars? He had $10, he spent $1, he only has $9 left. So my step two is going to be to solve. My first step was 10 minus 1, and I'm only left with $9 for Willy Wonka bars. How many bars can I buy if I have $9 and each costs $1.50? How will I figure that out? If I'm multiplying here, what is the reciprocal, the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So I should be able to use some long division. I don't want that decimal there, right? I don't like dividing with decimals, so I'm going to switch it over, shift them all over. This becomes 90, this becomes 15. How many times does 15 go into 90? I'll give you a couple seconds to think. I believe it is 6. Did you get 6? Let's check. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 90. Yes, if you got 6, you are correct. So my W, my Willy Wonka bars equals 6. He was able to buy 6 Willy Wonka chocolate bars. So you are always going to be looking for that total, for the variable and your constant, okay? It should always look something like this or like this, okay? And then you are going to solve. You're going to figure out what that missing number is. I always think this is really fun. I can't wait to see your work and your exit ticket, okay? And again, any questions, meet me at my office hours, okay? Hope to see you then.